Welcome to the Sports Betting Preview Show, a pregame.com podcast. This is segment 2, Big Game Preview. We're going to take a look at NBA playoff action. Friday night, the Denver Nuggets travel to the Utah Jazz. VR, tell me the lines. I'm your host, Marco D'Angelo, joined by Vegas Runner. Tell us the numbers on this game, my friend.
All right. This one opened up different spots, different number. There was a difference of opinions. The Greek opened his line up at 3.5, while Chris opened their line up 2.5. Obviously, they've since met in the middle, and we're looking at 3 across the board. Utah's a home favorite, and the total's 213. It's set, idle, no movement there.
Now, whenever, and let's face it, Chris and the Greek, those are the two offshore sports books that get the most respect. They come out with the numbers.
Willing to have an opinion and willing to book wise guy money. So
when they come out with a number that, a point off there that far, what do you make of something like that being?
I like to see one of them be right. Like I prefer to see one of them take a stand and say, if we are going to differ, I'm going to leave my number there. I would have rather seen the Greek say, I'm going to keep it at 3.5. That's what we came out with. Or Chris to say, no, that's too high. I'm going to leave it at 2.5. And not worry as much about, getting off that number because we might be wrong. I think they should have more confidence in their number if they're willing to put it out. But obviously, someone hit them. And they're the kind of books that aren't going to move on air. They're going to move because money came down. And I think that's what forced it. I don't think it was anybody really working a 1-point middle. I just think it was some sharps thinking 2.5 was too low, and others thinking 3.5 is too high. And I think that's why we're sitting at 3 right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, we talked about it in our NBA handicapping podcast last week about, them not coming out with the lines right away for the playoffs, and that they were a little timid, scared.
Sure.
And, we made a reference back to 2 years ago where they absolutely got drilled, where the home teams,
all the favorites covering.
The favorites were winning, home teams were winning by double digits, and, just blowing past the number, and they weren't making adjustments. Well, I got to tell you, I even put up a forum post on Sunday night. They've done their job.
They have. The first day, it was a little scary, deja vu, when you saw 4 favorites come in. But
Sunday,
everything, and since then, with yesterday, they've done a great job, not only on the sides, but on the totals as well. I mean, as a bettor, you're watching the game till the end. Not very many playoff games did you have your feet up. Even those teams up 20, all of a sudden it became an 8-point game.
And moving on to the Friday game, well, first of all, how can you?
What a shocker!
Why do you have them, not play till Friday? They stretched the first round of the NBA playoffs out. It's absolutely ridiculous the way they do it. It's all for TV. It's all for money. Money makes the world go round. There's no question about it. But momentum. You lose the momentum,
for sure.
and the flavor for the series
changes. Absolutely.
This definitely, in theory, would benefit the Jazz having the extra days off.
Sure, to practice, because you lost Okor. You don't have Kirilenko since they started the playoffs. But now you could give these guys that are coming in to replace them some playing time with the starters.
And more so, the starters that have been playing longer minutes,
getting rest,
getting some rest. So that's big. But
how shocking though was Utah getting that win yesterday? Not the cover. You had Utah. I liked Utah. I mean, we thought they would make a game of it, but I mean, for them to steal one in Denver without who they were missing, that was, to me, that was surprising, the way they took care of business.
Absolutely. I was shocked that they were able to pull the game off. Was that the zigzag theory at its best? I liked Utah, not so much because of the zigzag, but mainly because Denver just had it too easy. And we're getting
line updates.
Some line updates coming in for us there, and we forgot to shut off our updates, but we're taping on Tuesday, and Manny Ramirez is upgraded to probable
for tonight.
So
Dodgers line is moving as we speak.
As we speak. So sorry about that, guys. But
this is your free pick.
This free pick is for Friday, and we're going to look at this game, and I'm going to come with a selection that's going to be a little bit out of character for a Marco play. And the first two games of this series went over, and so obviously you're going to be thinking, I'm going to come with the under.
Yeah, it's due for an under.
And, do the, flipping of the site and everything. Utah, for them to win, they need to slow the game down and all that. Right. I'm not going that way. And I'll tell you why. Denver, when I watch the game, and that's the thing about the playoffs.
You got to watch them.
You got to watch these games. Denver came into this game thinking that they just had to show up.
Yeah. That they'd at least win.
And what I got out of the flavor of the game is that Denver wasn't playing their best game. And when Denver plays their best game, they're moving the ball.
Yeah, they're going to run.
They're going to run the ball up the floor. And they let a game get away from them. And the public, I feel, come Friday, they moved this line up to 217 because it was another high-scoring game. The public on Friday, I think, is going to come in and do the reversal. Think that this game is
going to get an under this time.
Now that it's at Utah, Utah's going to dictate the tempo.
Had almost a week to prepare.
Denver, that was a wake-up call. They gave a game away.
They're going to run them.
They're going to run. They're going to come out running in Utah. They got to
run with them too. They don't got no problem doing it. You're right.
People, the announcers kept talking about Utah controlling the tempo and Utah's playing thin. They're shorthanded. All of that. It's a situation that.
With 5 days rest.
Granted, people are going to, think that that's even better because we always say, rested teams play better defense, but Denver is going to push the tempo on Friday.
I think Utah's going to have no choice but to run with them.
When I saw Vegas make the adjustment the way they did, they adjusted this 5 points, 4.5 points from where were they at. They were down to 212.5 on Monday's game.
Yeah, a lot went off at 212, I saw it.
They made this game, they brought it out at 217. That's a huge move, especially switching sites, because generally when they switch sites, they are going to look at the home team and what their flavor is. And there's no question, Utah's flavor is to slow the game, play a half-court game, make Carmelo. Carmelo was not in not in his games. He put up some shots
and some goofy fouls. He had no business being the guy that gets that foul.
He put up when that game was a 1-point game for several possessions down the final 3 minutes. The shot selection and things that they did, he just did not have good.
No.
This team really felt, I feel, they just had to show up and they were going to blow the Jazz out. You're going to see a different Nugget team. So you may ask, why am I not taking the Nuggets here? Because Utah does have a strong home court.
It is. It's a scary home court to go against.
It's one of the best in the NBA.
It is.
And
it always has been.
I think the value's in the total, even though the line is up. I am going to lay the 217. I'm going to take the game over the total. That's going to be my free pick. Our free picks, 23 and 10 with mine. So let's keep it going. VR's on a roll, 20 and 8, and we got one more little bit of business. We got to give RJ's money away.
Okay, let's do it.
We like giving RJ's money away, and we're going to give you a $10 coupon. You can use this coupon for anything you want. It's $10 off.
Free $10 at pregame.
Go to the shopping cart, load up what you want. It'll take $10 off your order, and we're going to go NBA 10. All one word, real
short
simple.
And sweet.
NBA 10. It'll get you $10 off. In VR, if the package that they buy is $10, what happens?
I don't think you pay a penny.
Nothing.
On the house.
Nothing.
Free pick.
That makes RJ cry. But,
Yeah, at least find one for 12.
There you go. Buy one for 12, put $2.
Toss a deuce into the bankroll.
He might need a couple singles for the strip club as well. So, and this has been our big game preview, Denver and the Utah Jazz. Go to pregame.tv and make your own prediction on this game. And if you correctly predict the final score, we will give you $100 in pregame dollars to spend however you want. And always, you can download and listen Go to iTunes, search for pregame.com, get all of our podcasts. He is Vegas Runner. I'm Marco D'Angelo. We'll be back next week. NBA playoff action will continue to go. Best of luck this week. Talk to you next week.